chat today once again, this time about Skater XL versus Skate, the video game simulation series. And what I noticed was on the Skater XL websites, reviews before I got it, they said, after playing this, I'll never go back. What's up, Ducky, my friend? We're just chatting about Skater XL, seeing which game is the best. I'm trying to make a couple points because before I got the game, they said, after playing this, I'll never go back to EA Skate. And, uh, and I don't agree with that statement. So I want to know what other people think about that. I've been playing a lot of Skater XL lately. I'm a little bit burnt out of the maps. That's why I did that video on the different maps. It's like 5 of them, right? The high school. And I noticed on the full version, there's a whole different version of the high school that I don't have. The big ramp that I call is a small ramp because the vert skating is not the main draw of that game. Well, thank you very much. I don't have Skate 2. I almost bought it again for the second time. And that's one thing I wanted to thank you for, Ducky, actually, was you never criticize me. You never try to insult me or complain or say why is this like this, or I've never heard that from you, and that means a lot, I because when you get so many stupid comments after a while, you get numb to it, and sometimes you get mad at people that don't even deserve it, but it's just nice to get something nice once in a blue moon, to get something positive, like thoughtful, that someone sees through what you're doing, that it's not just uploading for the sake of it. I got a chair this time, but I got no guitar because I realized when I play the guitar, I focus on the guitar and I don't focus on what I'm talking about. No one cares about the performance on the guitar as much as what I have to say about gaming or whatever, so I should focus on the gaming. But I want to hear your thoughts. Which one you think is better, because I don't have a good answer for that. Because what I wanted to make is a few points. And that is Skater XL has a better replay editor than Skate. Except when it makes that booming noise that explodes in your ears. I don't know how you do those clips, like with, what's it called? Keyframes and all that, but Skater XL has a better replay editor. I wanted to mention that. Skater XL has better board physics. When the board freely moves around, like every trick is different, it has its own physics going along with it. So that's a point. Point 3 would be just the control of the different feet catching it, and that's a little bit more advanced. And then 4 is the sound of it. Skate has better sound. I've done a little with the free camera, but that's the one I use the least because you never seem to get the guy on the screen. That's pretty interesting. And before I forget, I checked out your friend, the Shotgun Rapper, and I was expecting him to be somebody different, but he was like a white guy with a cowboy outfit on, which was kind of funny. I really don't like trap rap. I can't lie to you. I grew up on the real rap, the street, the intelligent rap, not the. We're from a different generation, you and me, so it's different. I grew up in a different. And I know it's just different times, but I keep an open mind. And when I used to pal around with different people that listen to rap, they would put on that type of rap, and my mind would just go to a different planet because I like rap, I like hip hop, but it's just a different generation to me. But that's a little different than, you can let me know your thoughts about that. But that's a little different than the skating. The sound was the last thing. I noticed EA Skate 1 is very loud. Like it almost hurts your ears. It's so loud. The sound effects. I think Skater XL did a good job with the sound effects. Um, Snapping of the board and all that. The 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 wind and all that. Like I told you before, I think it's all really good. So that's an improvement. And what would I say Skate did better? Because I have a couple of thoughts about that. The open world in Skate is better. It feels somewhat alive, but the graphics aren't as good. The graphics are old, obviously. It's been a long time, but the graphics are a little bit dull. It's like, and it was really good at the time. It was amazing to see like Chris Cole's finger paint and all that, and the wheels spinning by themselves. That was really groundbreaking. And the different textures like downtown and all that. But Skater XL is not impressive graphically, but it's a little bit crisper, so to speak. Like it's got a little bit more modern. The colors are so basic that it's kind of boring after a while to keep looking at it. Let me know your thoughts, but it's a little bit. If they, the team is not. That's the whole point of it. Is they don't have the polish, the attention to detail to really nail the whole thing. Like when your feet go through the board all the time. I hate that. It's there's a lot riding on Skate 4. Yeah, it's got to be good graphically, because or else everyone will be making videos about it. Oh, what's up, my friend, Mr. 21? I haven't heard from him for a bit. We're just chatting about Skate and versus Skater XL and the things that Skate does better, like the polish and the level of detail, and how Skater XL is a little more advanced. You can let me know your thoughts. I know you played at least some of the EA Skate series, but I think it's hard to say which is the best. And I've done polls and it's about even, but the best. Everyone wants to know what's the best. I just say that because it gets your attention. What's the best? But none is the best. Skate came out when it came out, and it was a big deal, and it hasn't been able to been dethroned just yet. Um, but Skater XL is a step in the right direction, and it's got a lot of hype around it with people doing the mods and whatever. Ducky knows more about mods than me, but well, what is it about Skate 3? My friend Mr. C21 likes the Skate 3. I like Skate 3 because the creative park was really good. But what I didn't like about it was the teams. It was all team up and throw down. I don't care about teams. I'm like I like to be on my own, minding my own. And when it's about teams, that means it's about online. And that meant that you needed to have your thing hooked up to online to do most of the game. And I think the first game wasn't. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's Skater XL does feel more different. Let me read that out loud because Ducky made a good point. Oh, I'm gonna cancel it again on accident. Skater XL is a simulator kind of. It's trying to be more realistic. I feel like Skate 3 is more of a fun game. A creative one, you can do whatever you want. So that's true. Skate 3, you can do all these crazy, like the super dude. I don't think that's ever been done in real life. Someone lifting a board over their head. That's kind of absurd. But they were on the third one, so they had to keep getting more advanced. Like if you notice on Skate 1, you can't do the Ollie North or the, what are some of the things they added? Like pop shove it under flips, for example, and like the little things they added. They were trying to make it all around, covering the dark slides, for example. Skate 2 is like a blurry memory. I can't even think about it. That was so long ago, and that's the only one I haven't played recently. But Skater XL is like a simulator, that's true. Because it's difficult. And then you ever tried Switch in Skater XL? I can do a couple things. My friend said because of the custom parks. Yeah, that's true. There was a big variety, and it wasn't open world, but at least it was connected a little bit. Yeah, see, I skate well, I used to, a regular in real life, so that means with your left foot forwards. But for whatever reason on EA Skate, I kind of like the goofy controls because I can wrap it around the 360 flips and all that really good. But in Skater XL, I'm not saying it's unintuitive, but it takes a long time to get it to flow. Pretty nice, and even still, I'm doing basic stuff, and it's fun. But I really, we're at a tough time in skateboarding games. That's why I tried to do other games, but it sunk my channel down. I was talking about this last night that the subscribers weren't clicking on it, and that means YouTube knows don't show this to more people because even my subscribers don't like it, meaning the anything other than the skate games, the Red Dead Redemption videos, the subscribers were not clicking on them. So YouTube says, this is not a good video. Don't show this to anyone. And then they stop promoting. So right now my channel is just flatlined. So I appreciate you guys' help with your viewership and liking and everything. But that was my mistake. You have to try different things. I tried something. So I started a new channel today. I uploaded my first Red Dead Redemption video on the new channel of the train running over this poor person that I picked him up on my horse. Since I beat the game, I started turning into a jerk. So what kind of systems are you on, Mr. 21? Yeah, you should. You know, I made that video about why I got back into the skating games. It was a real long story, so I won't say that. But it almost never happened. But since I did, it's just kind of reinvigorated my mind for skating. I feel like I'm better at EA Skate than I've ever been in my life. If you've ever done something for a really long time, then taken a break, and then you get back to it, say like you were doing an instrument and you started as a kid and you play your whole life, you're going to be a virtuoso, you're going to be a master. I feel like I'm like a master at EA Skate. I'm not saying I'm Mr. Cool. I probably spent too many hours in it. But I've got something to show for it. I might as well make a few videos on it, even if they're not a big hit right away. I might as well make something out of all the knowledge I spent as a kid skateboarding. I gotta do something with it. I gotta put it into something. So that's what my mind is telling, my heart is telling me to do. So, and it worked out that way. I met a guy that got me started on skating. But yeah, man, I would suggest you get back into it and just try it. And if you get a little bit bored, take a break, but they're always going to be there. EA Skate 1 stands the test of time. In my mind, I think that's a game that really, certain games stand the test of time. They just do because they haven't been beaten. certain games feel very dated after a while. It doesn't matter about graphics so much all the time. But now that I've played some of the best graphics ever, I'm kind of like, well, now I got accustomed to dynamic day and night cycle and weather, and I love playing with headphones now. So that's what I did. And I think I forgot to tell you the end of that story about Red Dead Redemption. When I started that new channel, now it has no subscribers on it, but I put a guy in the back of my horse, and I drove him over to to the railroad tracks, and because I turned into a jerk now that I beat the game, so I'm turning evil. And but then I reload the old saves, so I just do whatever I want. But I picked him up and I put him on the tracks, and then the train all of a sudden came by almost right away, and the scream was so realistic. It sounded like someone really being. I mean, you feel like you're really an evil person. I'm not. I'm having fun, but you almost feel like you're like a maniacal person with that game, the way it sets you up. But I did upload that one, and when I get a couple subscribers, I'll put that on the old channel in a community post, and I'll share it with you guys. Um, if you want to subscribe, and I'll do the same with the music channel. But yeah, I just wanted to say a few things about EA Skate. I had those few points that I made, and I put that the new channel. It's well, I have three. I've got harmonica and guitar progress. This one, which I might rebrand this one. This new one is called I don't know if I want to say it out loud because it's kind of a ridiculous name. It's based on something Arnold Schwarzenegger said in the news recently. I might rebrand it. Um, that's a little hint. It's just based on something Arnold Schwarzenegger said recently. It's ridiculous because what I do is I experiment until I find something that clicks with people, and then I'll continue with that. Except with the music channel, that was my plan from the beginning, was to do music progress. This one I just did like funny thoughts, rambling, or impressions, or just something silly, and then eventually I said, you know what, I'm putting the Red Dead Redemption videos on here because this is killing my skating channel. But it's called Screw Your Freedom, and it has a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger with a bandana over his face. It has 0 subscribers because nobody knows about it, and maybe like a few videos on it. But I'm not getting into. I'm not a big, you know. I'm not going to get controversial on YouTube because it's not the right platform for it. But it's just a joke. Like, I'm still working out what I'm going to do with it. So if you notice, I experiment with this channel. Right, right. I'll tell you guys because you guys are my close friends as far as this community is concerned. I mean, if you're watching this, you're a good friend. You deserve to know. You can ask me anything, I'll tell you. But I won't tell anybody. I won't tell the troll. And even my good friends that ask, "What's your music channel?" I even remove the comments because I got so many, not from my friends, but from other people watching them. Because I don't need these nameless people with just a troll account chasing me all over the internet. Oh, thanks, Ducky. I'm gonna work on that. And at least you can see the person getting exploded by the train. Because that was a real story. Thanks a lot. And like I said, we'll figure out what direction we want to take that one in. Who knows what it'll be, but obviously I got ideas. But let's try to think about Skate. Let me try to say a few words about EA Skate versus Skater XL. Skater XL I bought for $20 a few months back. Sure, I love horror. That's a good question. My friend C21 just asked, have you played horror? They're actually remastering Dead Space, but I wouldn't say that's the best horror game. I really liked Alien Isolation. That's a recent one. You can let me know if you played that. Because that's first person and very atmospheric with good controls. And yeah, no, that's a good question. An example of a horror game I really didn't like was The Evil Within, but it had good gunplay. That's kind of horror action. It had really satisfying gunplay, but the story was just a real mess. And also, what was the other one? I had another one at the tip of my tongue of a horror game. The Evil Within, Alien Isolation. Or was that last one at the tip of my tongue? I think Outlast was inspired by, or Alien Isolation was inspired by Outlast, but I haven't played it. I know that's a stealth game, has stealth elements too. Geez, I can't think of that other one that was right. Oh, well, I think it was Resident Evil 4 was the last. That's horror action. See, that game was pretty unsettling. Have you played Until Dawn? That one's a little weird. That game is actually a little bit creepy because it's gets stuck in your head, almost like a good movie. Parts of Until Dawn where there's this part with a dollhouse where the dolls kind of all of a sudden have eyeballs, and it's got a lot of jump scares in it. But that I'm talking recent games now. Until Dawn was pretty creepy. I sold that one because I wouldn't replay it. Yeah, that's a game where you could almost just watch it and get the same experience as playing it, almost. Except it allows you to make decisions that everyone can live or everyone can die, but there's these wendigos, and it's another game that gets in your head kind of psychologically. And Bloodborne is a RPG. What year did that? My friend C21 says Blair Witch. That sounds familiar, but that sounds really old. I'm trying to think of other horror titles, but and Blair Witch sounds very old, like from PS1 or PS2 or something. I don't know how old you are. I'm 28, but I started playing games with the Game Boy. Gex Deep. There's a guy who commented on this channel, Gex Deep Pocket Gecko, and that was a game I used to play. Those games were crazy. Traveling to like Egypt and Santa Claus with the North Pole and going everywhere, jumping as a lizard. That was my childhood. But yeah, I do like horror genre. The horror genre is a fantastic genre when it's done well. So that was a good question. Oh, okay, 2019. So you're still kind of up to date with modern games coming out. Honestly, I haven't seen anything to catch my attention in a long time. The last one was 2018, and I put off getting Red Dead 2 because I was like, well, I'm not even into gaming at this point. Way back then, 2018. That was the last game that I said I have to get. You guys probably know that feeling when you're like, I have to get this sooner or later. I need to experience this. And there's certain games you can live without, like for example, Dishonored 2. I played a lot of Dishonored, but Dishonored 2 I don't care about. And I never got around to doing Outlast. All I know it was first person stealth horror. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It's probably a pretty good one. If it's anything like Alien Isolation with Alien Isolation, you kept getting killed though. Like you get killed so many times. You have to imagine like if this was really a real scenario. I mean, your person would have had to be. It was what was her name? Amanda Ripley. You would have to be flawless throughout this whole mission to never get killed once by the alien. Because once he spots you, if you don't have the flamethrower, which you get at the end of the game, he's gonna come up behind you or he's gonna come down and is instantly killed. So it's a pure stealth game. There's these working Joes that are just robots, so you can shoot them, but even the guns don't really do that much against them. They just grab you and strangle you. It's a pretty depressing game actually, but it's at least scary. It's at least very stressful, and that's the key thing about a horror game is it gets you stressed in a way that's like you're on the edge of your seat the whole time, and that's pretty good. So that's my thoughts on that. Gave you guys the tour yesterday. I went around. I did the tour of the house. My friends here probably missed it. This isn't my bedroom. This is the harmonica and guitar room. Okay, so you have to run away from the enemies. And what platform are you playing on the most, bro? You should get Skater XL. You sound like this guy's been following me for a while, and he's appreciates the skate videos. I think you should start skating. Oh, so you can't really run away? No, I get you. On the old Xbox One, I hear you. I got the 360 and the PS4, and I'm just hoping my 360 lasts as long as I need it to, because the last thing I want to do is jump on Facebook Marketplace and start looking around for a used Xbox 360. But yesterday I was doing the tour. Oh, you were. Oh, he watched that. I think you may have watched that later on after the fact. But this is the room that I do the performance videos, because when you're doing acoustic, there's such thing as like a room's acoustics. Different rooms have different qualities. Like if I went out in the kitchen with a refrigerator running and all these appliances running with a big open space with no closure with a tile floor, it's not going to sound as good as in here where it's more closed in and it's just better for recording. So I choose to do recordings in here. But when I get my thoughts out, come over here. But yesterday I did a tour walking around the whole joint. Not the whole joint, I didn't left out the bedroom. But this is like I've got this big dresser here. This is a massive thing. If you ever saw a dresser this big before, it's for I think that's for Andre the Giant. And a couple jackets over here. That's where I keep the TV sets down here. That's a chair. Yeah, we gotta do the best with what we have. You gotta have your setup. This isn't my gaming. Someday, whoever sticks with me, we're gonna improve this gaming channel. It's not gonna stay the same forever. We're gonna improve. We're gonna do the quality, but quality is in the eyes of the beholder. Quality is the best quality that you deem as good quality. And people throw around the word quality like there's some sort of representative on quality. Well, you could buy something cheap and that's low quality, or you could buy something that suits your needs and that's high quality. But when you're creating a piece of work, the greatest artists of all time, like Picasso and so on, they didn't even get recognized during their lifetime. After their life, they realized, why are you painting noses as cubes and painting people with green faces and so on? Like, because they didn't understand it. They didn't see what they were doing. And later on, they say, oh, this person is a genius. I'm not saying that I'm necessarily this big shot. I'm just saying people don't always get what they're seeing. They don't always understand what's being put in front of them. They just think, this is supposed to look like this. This is the way it's always been. And you see people with 3 YouTube, I see it all the time. I go on people's channels and you'll see 137 videos, 275,000 subscribers. You guys have seen it. 30 videos, 1 million subscribers. And then you look at the videos and you try to break it down, or maybe you don't even click on it because there's just no substance. I don't know. I don't feel that impressed with social media, but I'm studying it. I'm like a student for social media. I'm trying my best to crack the code. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I'm not going to cheat my way. Anything I get is because I deserve it. So that's that rant. I don't know how I got to that rant, but because quality, that's why, is in the eyes of the beholder. But I just wanted to make a few points about Skater XL versus, and one of these days we're going to do Skate versus Skate 2 versus Skate 3, because I got some thoughts on that. People love Skate 2, and I'm not sure what the hype is about that. Because I remember even the cover of Skate 2, if you guys have seen that, it's just a blank cover with two skateboards on it, and it says Skate 2. And I remember as a kid, I think I went all the way on foot to the local mall, which was a long journey that I would rarely make if I really needed something at the mall. And it was very exhausting, but I went and bought Skate 2 because it was a big deal. And I didn't need anyone to help me buy it because it was rated teen. So I went and got it. And it was just the cover of it was Skate 2 with two boards on it. Just so like thoughtless. And I'm not saying that represents the whole game. I feel like Skate 1 was just that little love child or whatever. And Skate 2 was the middle child that was like the black sheep of the series. That's just my opinion about it. And Skate 3 is a good game. Skate 3, I put a lot of time into it. My friend here says, C21 says, I haven't seen that much of Skater XL. Well, you've seen quite a few of my videos, I hope. Which my videos are a distorted reality, I guess. But it is a fun game, so you must have some idea of how it's kind of you kind of do basic tricks to start, and then you gradually try to experiment more advanced. And I treated it just like that, like kick flips, rolling around, 50-50s front side, shove it's, 180s. People try to tell me there's no such thing as a half cab or whatever in my videos. Then when you play Skate, it literally says BS half cab, FS half cab. So I guess the developers of these billion-dollar games don't know. Yeah, it's got similarities to Skate 3. I would say it's kind of its own thing, but it takes inspiration from Skate 3. Someone put a thumbs up and then left. I appreciate that. This is I call it the Put Your Nose In podcast now. But I like all the games, but I thought skateboarding games were going to be a thing of the past for me until I started selling all my skateboard equipment. When I started selling all my skateboard gear, I went up into the old storage area I had, and I found my old Xbox 360 while I found all these old parts from this guy that was buying them from me. And I said, tonight we're going on a nostalgia trip, and we're playing Skate 3, even though my controllers drift, which I don't know if you guys know how annoying that can be. When your guy automatically starts manualing or nose manualing all by himself. But that's what it does. And I've learned to work around it. It doesn't even bother me now. But I was going to get a new controllers for that reason. But they're old. They're old from my old days of flicking them 1,000 times. And that's what started it. When I sold the skateboard equipment, I set it up and it became a regular thing. I'm like, I'm damn good at these games. I'm going to start showing people. I don't care if it's all that impressive to look at. You're going to see it for what it is. If you watch it, you're going to see this guy knows how to play these games. You can't deny it unless you saw that first live stream where I blew it. And I'm going to mention that every time. It's becoming tradition because that first live stream I had been playing Skater XL for a month straight. I can't believe I'm saying this again, but and I said let's play EA Skate and go live, and I crashed into everything. for about 30 minutes because the controls have some subtle differences. I guess this has to do with the title of the live stream. And I crashed into everything and made a fool of myself. And everyone must have said, okay, I'm going to head out now because this guy can't play. But if you watched any of the later ones, I think I made up for it, even though those first ones got the most views because that was my first time going live and just poor planning. If I had spent an hour warming up, I would have had it. But that's the story with that. You got to make mistakes to learn something. And I've made a lifetime's worth of errors. I've gotten very wise in these past couple of years. If I look back to 2020, 2017 to 2018 or so, I was really foolish. But yeah, I have 4 thumbs up, which is very nice. I think I'm better at going on the camera than I am with doing the live gaming. Because I can't do HD live gaming yet. When I do, that'll probably be better than the speaking. But I've always been a decent speaker, so I just have to find the right topics to connect with the right folks to find the right audience. I don't currently have a real spectacular audience. I have a real great one that I'm thankful for. It's just you see these big like people sharing things on Facebook and so on, and you got to have the right things. There's a guy I'm following on this. You can look him up on my subscriber list called Jake Gibson, and I like him. I think he's got some good thoughts. But he friended me on Facebook because I asked him to. But then when I went to message him privately, it was still the white thing rather than check mark, meaning like he hasn't added me on Messenger. And what I'm saying is some people, they think they're so high and mighty that they can't speak to you. Like they want you as a fan, but they don't want you as a friend. They don't want to speak with you, interact. They're fine with you liking all their posts and engaging as a fan, but when it comes to one-on-one interaction on their own time, that's a little different story. I don't know if he's like that, but how hard is it when I reminded him through another comment, can you add me on Messenger? I want to speak to you about what's the state of the world, and I think we have a lot of similar ideas and so on. But I'm not some needy person. If you don't want to add me, well, you'll be missing out on a long time because I'm still going to be here thinking my own thoughts, but some people need to get off their high horses, man, on this social media because it's all a numbers game distraction. You're only here in this one life, and you want to, I got this many numbers and I got that many, and you're all just comparing yourself to whoever else has got more, and it's designed that way. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying people are so stupid they're doing this. It's designed to make you stack yourself up constantly. It's tiresome. At the end of the day, you're going to be by yourself. No one else is going to control your body or pay your bills or brush your teeth or do anything. It's up to you to do it, man. So I think social media is a bit over the top. It's a little bit crazy. But like I said, I'm still trying to crack the code. But I'm so different than, I'm not saying like I'm Mr. Cool, but I'm very unusual and people don't understand me at first. Like it takes a long time, very long time for them to say, okay, he's not just some sort of unusual fellow. He's got some sort of purpose behind what I'm doing. Well, thank you, bro. Thank you. I didn't expect to rant about that. Oh, hang on, Ducky's talking about Milky. I just saw one of his thumbnails today. Let me read that out loud if I can. That's how Milky is. He fixes mods on Skater XL. I asked him to help me, and he just told me to just install it. And when I said I can't do that, it's broken, he ignored him. See, he's on his high horse. He thinks he doesn't have to engage with the little guy because you're unknown right now. You know, because I have 1,000 subscribers and I put a thumbs up on your video, Ducky, and my channel's been around for a little while, that is a big boost in the YouTube algorithm for you. I don't do that because I'm trying to get a benefit out of you. I like it. You're a good friend, and like I told you at the beginning of this live stream, you're always genuine. You've never said, why does this look like this? Never try to criticize me. And I'm not saying don't criticize me. I'm above constructive criticism. But you've always been respectful. Never had a hint of hostility in your comments. Always, because there's energy behind every comment. It's not hard to pick up on it. So that's why we turn out to be good friends. We like the game. It's genuine. If I can help you, I'll reach out to you. But this guy, a lot of these people, they do it for a living. This is what you do, content creation for a living, and you can't engage with somebody on all these different platforms, but this is your job? That's pathetic. There's people who are scrambling for their future. And if you're doing social media for a living, you got to count your blessings. I would reply to everybody within my ability. And I get a little burnt out of comments when it's the same. Why so many pixels? I know it's pixelated. I'm the one making it. Don't you think I know how the final product looks when I'm tweaking it and so on? That I don't know it's got pixels on it? Like as if I'm oblivious to my own creation. So I get a little worn out of those comments. And that's why it's refreshing when a few people are just consistent. And I don't care if you ask questions. All I'm saying is be thoughtful when you write something on the internet because it's going somewhere. That was a long rant. So that's why Skate 3 is the best. No, I think Skate 1 is the best. That's just my humble opinion. It's the most nostalgic, and I'll tell you guys something real, a real story right now. Without getting too specific, when I was in the 10th grade of high school, I'm 28 now. This was a very important time in my life. I was in love with a girl. That's kind of another story. But anyway, I was suspended from high school for 30 days, the last 30 days of my high school. I couldn't complete my courses without my own mother going into school and picking up my work for me and bringing it back home for me just to graduate with my class. And around that time period, I went home, I was suspended, and around that time, I sat there one morning and I put on Skate 1, and it was one of the most nostalgic moments of my life. I can't get into like super detail as to why, but I just played that all morning for about 3 hours, and I think it had the Tommy Guerrero soundtrack going. And that's why. It's just one of those things ingrained in your mind. One of those games that sticks with you. So my friend C21 says he's only played Skate once, so he means Skate 1, I think. That's how I am with Skate 2. It's like a foggy thing, and everyone raves about it. But Skate 1, I just logged an unholy amount of hours into it. Enough that when I play it now, I feel like I'm going back in time and I'm doing too much. I was telling Ducky last night on the live stream that I feel like I can't live in 2007 forever. I gotta try to get with the modern times, but I don't really like the modern times all that much. I don't know. I try to do Skater XL, I try to alternate, but I was saying yesterday, skating games, we're trying to be patient for Skate 4, but skating games are at a time where you don't really know what to do to try to keep people entertained. I saw that. I'm not a big follower of that Zexy guy, But last time I saw him, he was playing some game I've never seen, but involves like a car. What are those things called? Go-karts or whatever it was, high-speed go-karts. So people are getting bored. But I learned better to play Red Dead than to play Red Dead Redemption because people don't like that. Well, it's time for a new TV. You better get a new TV. Nice TV, bro. I should have said thanks. Yeah, it is a nice one. So we're going back. EA Skate, I don't have Skate 2. Maybe I'll finish up that park that I started. That new park, with the half naked girl video. I think that was the live stream that had the most likes on it. It's the half naked girl doing the creative park. But let me know your thoughts. What you think is the best skateboarding game outright? The best. What's your favorite? What do you like about each one? Skate 1, Skate 2, Skate 3. Skate It, if you've ever played Skate It. I once owned a Nintendo 3DS and I sold it with a huge collection, and I've never sold anything so fast on Facebook Marketplace in my life. I put it up one night, went to bed. I normally turn my phone off. I left it on. All you heard was ping, 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 all those messages, people wanting to buy it. A whole 3DS. Chrono Trigger. My friend C19 was talking about horror games. It had Dementium 1 and 2, which I didn't really quite play. Dragon Warrior 5. Just a huge collection, and it sold so fast. Where I've got things up there now that haven't even gotten a message. Drums, stools, and a couple junk guitars someone gave me I've listed. I traded guitars for some old pairs of skate shoes, like Janoski shoes and Blazers, Nikes. I traded them for hang on, my friend said something here. I'm very surprised that there's still people. This is my friend C21. I'm very surprised. Yeah, I wish I could work this better. Here we go. I'm very surprised that there are still people playing Skate 3. It just amazes me. Well, that goes back to the point that there's only so many options out right now. And when you have someone playing vanilla Skater XL, I'm talking real vanilla. 1.0001 or whatever it is. That means just whatever's on the disk, which means whenever you do a replay editor, you better not be wearing headphones because there's a good chance there's going to be cannons going off in your ears when you're editing, and that means it crashes and goes to the home screen. You can let me know if that happens on your version. But literally, every time I do a video with the replay editor, in the back of my mind, I have to be wondering, is this going to crash? Or is this going to set off cannons? So that's annoying. At least Skate 3 doesn't do that. So that's why people are still playing Skate 3, because it's like there's not that many options for good skateboarding games. Skateboarding games are a unique genre, like it's can't really be replaced by anything. Even an open world game can't replace it. Oh, the pop noise. The Ducky says it doesn't crash, but it'll sometimes make and I know exactly what you mean. When it'll go poo and your guy will like either vanish or some kind of slightly glitch out. Well, at least they fixed that for the people on the PC or people that are, doing things the normal way. So I think it's just there's only so many options they remastered Tony Hawk. That doesn't concern me. Even if they remastered Tony Hawk's Underground, that would be cool. But is that a skateboarding simulator? Of course not. It was a really cool game, and I compared that to GTA when it came out. It was like I really wanted it. You could get off the board, run around. I think you could hit people over the head with your board, and for some reason, for a kid, that was really a big deal. To drive around in the little cars that you got in New Jersey, and it was a pretty gritty game. If you ever played Tony Hawk's Underground 1, you can let me know. Um, I only played a little bit of 4 and Thug, not Thug, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on the Game Boy. So that's the order that I went in. Underground was the one that set it off. And then Underground 2, my grandmother on my father's side bought me that and from a Toys R Us. And that was the only thing I picked out. We went into Toys R Us, I bought that and brought it home. And remembered it had like a cartoon vibe to it, but it was still pretty cool going to places like Skatopia and skating on grass and blowing things up and like Nigel Beaverhausen and Ben Franklin and all this crazy. But like I said, that's not a skateboard simulator. So it wasn't until skate came along that the real skateboarders were very, they felt like finally this is a real deal. And I had a couple, one of my best friends growing up I used to skate with. Ducky says, I looked on Steam and on Google and there's less than 4 good skate games. Well, that's the thing. Let me read what he said at the end there. Because if you're on cell phone, you can get these little games. There are 7 good skateboard games on consoles. Less than 4 good skate games on the PC. See, I think people are waiting for the big developers, like the big drop to happen. Easy Day Studios is not a big developer. I've never heard of them. And for them to put something on a disc, like say Rockstar Games or Red Dead Redemption 2, that's a big game on a disc. That's a huge game with all these different working parts going on with it. It takes a whole disc to install, then another one just to run the game, and then you keep the installed disc and you never use it again. But it's got dynamic thing, a whole world going on in the background. Skater XL is a flat world with nothing happening, with no weather, with nothing changing, with no pedestrians, with no other skaters. Yet your feet still go through the board and it still goes kaboom when you open the wrong menu. And you can't even wear a hat without big holes in your ears. That's a little bit weak, in my humble opinion. But that's true. There's only so many things to pick from if you're a real hardcore. I don't know who else you guys follow on YouTube, like the big guys. But here's what the big guys do. They're just updaters for the big studios. This is what I said before. Oh, Easy Day Studios released China map, whatever, Quebec map, New York City map, and they're the first ones to tell you about it. So everybody thinks that they go to them for the source of showing off these new maps. I'm doing the opposite of that. I'm like Mr. Vanilla. That's what I should call myself. Mr. Vanilla Realistic Skate Gamer. Because I'm not an Easy Day Studios update machine like a lot of the big shot YouTubers. And there's some that aren't. Like, what's his name? Zexy does the Skate 3, but I don't consider that to be skateboard simulation to me. I see someone jumping around that has no knowledge of skating. And that might look very impressive to someone that has no knowledge of skating. But some people want to see what they see in the skate videos, that sort of mentality applied to games. They don't want to see tail walk, backflip to 5-0 with a sloppy grind in between and just over and over. That's just what I've seen from it. I haven't seen that one person that really blows me away with online gaming in the skating genre. I don't know. But we got my friends here. Ducky's doing a good job in the skating community. I think I'm doing some good clips despite all the criticism that I get. You're not going to skyrocket to fame just by critiquing other people. You have to actually be better and get recognized. And if you don't get recognized, look around for someone to recognize you and try to speak to them. But I've had a couple people try to speak to me and then you never hear from them again. So it's like I had one guy on Instagram share my video kind of with some laughing emojis. So you want to be my friend, but you want to make it into a joke. And then the next day, I think he unfollowed immediately the next day because my profile on Instagram is private. So he looked around, saw a bunch of pictures of an orange cat, and then unfollowed. And then I never heard from him again. This is the type of flaky people that you deal with on the internet. They're not standing the test of time, but they'll support you for a while and they do realistic stuff. A lot of people are doing realistic stuff on Facebook. They're doing it. There's Facebook groups that I don't post. I was saying this yesterday, but I keep an eye on them. A lot of people filming their TV sets too, saying, "Look at this." They film their TV and they do a few lines. And like I said yesterday, there's people using licensed music, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. There was one guy did a cover of the show Adventure Time or something, covered that and used that for his background thing. And I don't know if people went nuts over that or not, but they do big advanced edits, and it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I never tried that. I like to do all one line, all one shot, and I'll do it over and over again until that one line is perfect or that one trick is perfect. I like that better. But oh, to each their own. There are people doing it out there. Skateboarding's big, man. It's huge. It might be too big. And the gaming niche on YouTube, everyone knows that's probably the biggest, right? If I had to go off the top of my head and say, excuse me, what are the biggest niches on YouTube? I would say gaming, pranks, and if you could call the news a niche, gaming, pranks, and maybe tech reviews or something like that. It's really big. Like, it's hard for me to grow a music channel because it's really slow. It's at a snail's pace. And I'm not a teacher. I'm not teaching. I just show my best work in the form of a very condensed performance. So it takes a long time. Thank you, my friend C. No, I understand. I've been rambling for way longer than usual. I usually don't have anyone to talk to. But thank you for joining, my friend. And my friend C19 just left the building, and I appreciate that a lot, man. I'm going to try to come up with more ideas. I got more ideas of topics. I'll try not to go all over the place. Or if you want me to go all over the place, you can. Or if you want to ask me anything particular, like I said, and you're not one of those people that I can recognize as being out to get me or whatever, then I will answer whatever you come up with. But I do appreciate it. Because I'm not here to waste your time. I really got things to think about, points to make, real things to say. In a world full of imposters. Sometimes, but yeah, yesterday I did the tour. You got the tour. I think Ducky's my #1 fan. So Ducky, I wanted to ask you, so do you like kind of trap rap music? I would recommend a little bit of old school rap music, like for example, Big L, Gang Starr, Smith and Wesson, DITC, Black Moon, Lord Finesse. Yeah, well, that's cool. Like I said, we're miles apart. I wonder why he wears the Western outfit. That was unusual. I guess that's why he calls himself Shotgun, but he had a revolver. I love playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I wish I could talk about it all day. It's so good. But it is a fantastic game. Well, it's just like I think the lyricism is lost. I think the real clever wordplay and the storytelling is lost. I give you an example, but they would copyright me and take me off the air like they like to do. This live stream got 6 likes on it. That's way outside of the norm. Way outside the norm. It's pretty quiet right now, but at the front of the house, I had neighbors that were, somebody just kept laughing for like 3 hours. I don't know how people can be so loud. Like, I do a little bit inside the house when I'm speaking to a camera, but I've never been one to just disturb a whole neighborhood. Maybe I do with my harmonica, but I'm never just a belligerent fool, Decky, if that's you still watching. And you know what? I'm surrounded by belligerent fools sometimes, and I'm trying to do my best with my time, but like, you don't want to confront your neighbors because you got to deal with them all the time. They know where you live, obviously. They're your neighbors. You know? This is actually exactly where I play the harmonica. I set up the camera like this so that you can't see the ceiling, because the ceiling has a bunch of lines on it. I prefer to keep it clean with the video, and then I'll try to sit up straight, get my whole frame in the picture, and wah wah. But I gotta come up with a new project. I'm actually working on a new Western song. It's called "The Man with the Harmonica." It's from a Clint Eastwood movie, and I already did a Clint Eastwood video, but this is a different one. I could get my harmonica set in the other room if you wanted it, but it's maybe I'll do that the next time because it is pretty late. Maybe I'll cancel it out, Ducky, since it is late. Oh, someone else just, maybe I will get it. Let me grab my harmonica set real quick and I'll see if I can get it. Just hold tight for just 2 seconds. All right, thanks. Oh, you know what else I brought out? These things. I was gonna show these off for maybe a different video, but these are these skate warehouse things. I don't know if you've seen these little toys, but remember I was saying I sold that guy all my skateboards? Well, I used to buy skateboards from Skate Warehouse, and I guess for some reason I got these little toys, but I've never had these before, and this is like, I don't know what it's supposed to do other than this, keep you amused, but I don't know, I kind of like it, and I got 2 of them. But that's not what I went to get. I went to get this harmonica. For some reason, I don't know, I'm not gonna do a concert, but just wanted to show you this is the room where I do it, and this is a whole harmonica set basically. So harmonicas come in different keys, so you can't really just have one if you want to play all sorts of songs, but the most common is the C for beginners, and this is a Hohner Special 20. So you just play chords, it would be like 3 holes, and it goes in and out. It's pretty nice sounding instrument. You can play a 2-hole draw. But then if I was to play the G harmonica, which is from that Western song I was telling you about, that's an E harp. Here's a G here. Looks the same, but it just has a G there, but it sounds a lot different. But that man with the harmonica involves bending the 6-hole draw, and it's very cool. But he's playing on a chromatic harmonica. This is a diatonic. So I'm going to have to leave out a special move that he does. But I would like to try to record that. See, that's the bend. And what was that other one I did recently? The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? If you ever check out my other channel, Ducky, it's called Harmonica and Guitar Progress. But can't remember how that went again. The Clint Eastwood movie was like bum 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 bum. Can't remember which holes it is. Can't remember which holes that is. That was a different thing because I can't remember how that went. But if you want to check out that video, that's my most recent video on the other channel. D harp. It's hard. I'm a much better guitar player than I am a harmonica player because I know more. I'll just say I'm more comfortable freestyling, so to speak. There's the A. A is pretty common. This isn't a music lesson, but guitars play. You said you play guitar, Ducky. A common guitar key is the key of E. So if you're playing an A harmonica in cross position, which is what you do a lot for blues, you would be playing in the key of E in the same key as the guitar player. So A harmonica is pretty good. Then I got the F, which is very loud. That's a B flat. This is my newest one. And this is not a Special 20. This is a Marine Band key of F. And if you ever play GTA 5, there's a song called If You Want to Get to Heaven by Ozark and the Mountain Daredevils. And I made a video playing that. It sounds just like the record if you speed it up to twice speed. I can't remember how it goes now, but if you ever play GTA 5, you definitely have heard that one. It's been a while, Duck. Anyway, if you speeded that up to twice speed, that would be just like the record in my version. But yeah, I can't remember how that other song goes, so I'm not going to tire you out with that. But when I record it, I'll try to put an update somewhere. Because if you ever saw a Western movie called, that included the song Man with a Harmonica, it's very classic. And I like those sort of Western shootouts and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe I'm just old fashioned. What are some of your favorite movies you can tell me? I used to love movies. As a kid, like The Last Samurai I used to watch. The Perfect Storm. Godzilla. Too many to name. So many out there. And that doesn't pertain to EA Skate, really. But I'm going to keep getting better on the harp. I can play a lot more if I know what I'm going to do. And it's good to have a whole set. I would say keep up on the guitar. You know, I was thinking today, guitar players, there's just so many of them. And it's become kind of generic. Guitar. Like, it's become too popular. And I'm kind of sound like I'm complaining, but back in the old days, we had rock and roll stars that were so recognizable. Buddy Holly, the Everly Brothers, Fats Domino, and like Elvis, for example, obviously, Johnny Cash, and all the blues artists. Right, anime movies, and the Demon Slayer movie. When I was a kid, it was all about Dragon Ball Z, to be honest with you. That was some of my youngest memories was watching that. Um, Getting home after school and getting in front of the TV at 4:30 for something called Toonami, and there would be an episode every day of like in sequence. It would be like Frieza versus Goku, and some people are really obsessed with that nowadays. I'm not. I probably outgrew that around the old days, but that's really my extent of anime as far as I can think of. Probably Dragon Ball Z and Yu-Gi-Oh. I really had a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That is technically anime as far as I know. Yu-Gi-Oh and Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I would certainly recommend watching it. And I've got to check out some of your more of your shorts because you got a lot of shorts. I've been busy today. Basically I'm taking a couple courses myself, and one of them is very confusing and involves going on the computer. And they told me today you can turn it in late and they won't take any points off. But I still got to do it, and it's like a three part thing. And when I told you I'm like a student of this social media thing, well, I'm actually going to Springfield Technical Community College online only for a couple classes because, long story short, my grandmother was someone who wanted to see me go through school, left me savings bonds to go through school. And I'm getting my life story now, but I spent most of my life really working in the restaurant business. But now I'm kind of educating myself more on marketing and other various things. Really stuff I'm interested in, but doing online schooling is very hard. Like you're going to real school right now. That's probably really hard too. Everything's pretty hard right now. But that's why I've been doing more creating than I have viewing, because when I'm viewing, I'm constantly viewing like educational stuff. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not even stuff that I'm really my regular subscribers. Like I'm learning like YouTube strategies and stuff, and I'm still deep down the rabbit hole of YouTube strategies. Oh, well. Yeah, that's tough too. And thanks for being good with your language, Ducky. I know YouTube's tough. I hear you. I mean, people are missing out on a real experience. Honestly, Ducky, school was the best years of my life. People tell you it isn't, but when you think back of how you could have done it better, like for example, I'm not trying to say I'm like something real special. I had a lot of people, girls, trying to be my baby mama, so to speak, when I was in school. All types of them. And I thought I was going to have that my whole life. All of them. And I just kind of like, well, if I was the guy I am now, I would have had all those opportunities, like to be like Mr. Playboy, so to speak. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying when you look back at your school life, don't take it for granted because it is going to end. All those people, you'll probably never see most of them again. It's very hard to live in the moment and to make the right choices when you're in school. And it's like you can only learn by failures or by research ahead of time, I guess. But you can't research anything without learning. I blew a lot of opportunities in my school years. I was very, very smart up until the 10th grade when I started getting stupid. That's a story for another time, but just be careful when you get to, say, the 10th grade. Try to stay on track. Try to stay on the good track that you know is right and with the right people that you know are in your best interest, because that was a time where I could have been a lot smoother, a lot smarter. Try not to dwell on that, but because I've moved on after all. I've spent years doing other things. I started working at 20 years old and didn't look back, and but now it's time to reevaluate life. You gotta The working world isn't what it used to be, Ducky. It's crazy. So, and yeah, I don't need to tell you why. Yeah, if I rambled too much, just tell me. It's been over an hour. This has been the biggest live stream I've ever done. So clearly I gotta come up with more ideas. No one cares about the gameplay videos, but I can entertain an audience a little bit. A little bit, Ducky, with my personality, just a little. Well, I guess I'll let you go, my friend. You are a very good friend. And if you have any more music recommendations, let me know. Maybe I'll share some with you. You know what I want to do for shorts? I'm going to record the EA Skate Tommy Guerrero songs because I looked those up today and they actually say copyright by EA Skate, even though not on my profile, but if you search up on YouTube, one of them's called DIY, Everyone Under the Sun or something. If you look them up and you go to the description of the videos for EA Skate soundtrack, it says copyright EA Skate. So that might even, maybe I want to be silent in the videos if I do more, which on the shorts they are silent because it's a replay editor, the new ones. But what I'm saying is I might try to record those songs and make like a little shorts of those songs because those songs are awesome. Tommy Guerrero is a great musician. He made a song called Organism. You might like it. Was in a Rob Dyrdek part once too. That's a classic skate song. You can check that out. Organism by Tommy Guerrero. Just a classic. No words in it. It's just an instrumental piece. Like a lot of his stuff was instrumental music, but it almost sounds like words. That's why one of them I always call it "Hey Little Woman" because that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like the guitar is saying. It's kind of ridiculous, but that's what happens when you play a game for 10,000 hours. You start to come up with your own ideas. But that's what I might do. So good job with the shorts, um, and mixing in the Skater XL stuff too. That's good. Just like I'm doing the shorts and mixing in the live streaming. We're gonna crack this YouTube code one way or another. Um, through perseverance, through a message, and through unique content, and that's number one. A unique. I'll give you a little tip, and this will be my last thing I'll say. What I'm learning now in one of those classes is called a unique selling proposition, which means standing out from your competition. So even if people tell me, why is this way? Why is it that? Well, at least you're getting them talking. I got good friends like you, but if I can get a bunch of people talking, well, I'll let them talk. I don't have to engage with them all the time, but at least I got them talking, right? At least I got people saying something. It's better than them saying nothing. And it's mostly pretty good. It's not everybody attacking me. If it is people attacking me, like I said, it's just plain troll picture, troll name. One of them said their name was "I'm here to piss you off." That was their name. So maybe it's multiple people, but if that's your name, you got a lot going on in life. Can't believe I gave that fool a shout out, but yeah. You almost feel bad for them. You almost think, well, if they're that sad of a person that all they can do is "I'm here to piss you off." And they were saying things about my mother, like they know my mother. Like if I've said this was a couple days ago, like that's supposed to be a real thing you say to someone to really get under their skin to someone you don't know. And he just got real explicit. Just like a 10-year-old kid would say at the courtyard, like, I did this with your mother, and I bet that'll really upset you. And you just have to think, I'm 28 years old, Ducky. Like, I can see through all of that. I wasn't born yesterday. I know when to feel sorry for somebody that's, and I can just laugh at them and say, well, I guess I feel bad for you. You're kind of foolish. Because that's what they said. They said, as long as it pisses you off, well, the thing is, I don't allow anything to get into this sort of mental space. You have to allow that for someone to get you real upset. And then, why? I had one guy say, I'm not going to use the exact words, but he said, I'm going to come after you and your whole family because I'm better. So, because you're better at a game, you're going to come after me and my family because I'm here playing a game better than you. So, I deserve to. And one guy said, give me your address. I want to come fight you because you're playing a game. So, this is the kind of people that you're contending with. You got your good friends, and then you got people that you don't even want to look at. The guy who said, I'm going to come after your family, his name was Dope Dookie. So that's the kind of name you're going to see. So if you see a name like that, beware. All right. Signing off. Hey, don't say I didn't warn you. Keep in touch, my friend, and we'll talk again soon and with some more people probably too. Thanks a lot.